Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm Tina, and I'll be your tour guide. And this is Brian. He is our webinar moderator. I am thrilled to be here with you to show you our two tardy management plugins, Auto Tardy and Auto Tardy Plus. Today's session will be primarily a live demo. I'm going to walk you through some real-world scenarios, explain the different configuration options, and show you exactly how this plugin can streamline attendance management in your schools. After the demo, we'll open up the floor for your questions. So please drop them in the chat anytime during the session. Brian will share your questions so we can answer them. When we talk about automating tardy processing, what we're really discussing here is how professional labor is allocated. In a typical 1,000 student building, manual tardy processing consumes roughly 1,000 hours per year of staff time. That's the equivalent of half of a full-time position dedicated to paperwork. None of those hours increase achievement, none improve safety, none strengthen family engagement. They're all transactional. When the tardy process becomes automated, those hours don't disappear, they're redeployed. They move to student supervision, early warning intervention, attendance follow-up, and instructional continuity. At the same time, the district gains real-time, audit-ready data, consistent policy enforcement, and immediate visibility into who is in the building. So the decision is not about buying technology. It's about whether highly compensated educators should continue performing clerical processes that software can execute in seconds. Auto Tardy is a simple, automated tardy management solution that eliminates the manual work that usually slows down your office. So instead of juggling paperwork, scattered tools, long lines, constant double checking, Auto Tardy lets your staff handle everything in just seconds, from recording attendance and printing hall passes to adding accurate timestamps and processing early dismissals. It takes the chaos out of the daily tardy management process and keeps your PowerSchool records accurate and up to date without that extra stress or lost time. Auto Tardy Plus is the new enhanced edition, built directly on the trusted foundation of Auto Tardy. While standard Auto Tardy excels at simplifying tardy management tasks in the office, Auto Tardy Plus takes it further, adding in self-serve kiosk options, real-time building entry control, internal movement logging, and after-school and event verification, all within the same easy-to-use PowerSchool plugin. It replaces scattered tools, paper logs, and manual processes with one secure, automated system that gives you full visibility and control. The result? Your team gets everything Auto Tardy already does, plus powerful new capabilities without added complexity or duplicate data entry. Both are designed to save time, reduce stress, and keep your school running smoothly. Okay, so let's get started here, and I'm gonna bring you into my PowerSchool screen here. And thank you for bearing with me for just a minute while I get my share sorted. There we go. Okay, so here we are in PowerSchool. Our plugins, and I'm going to start here by showing you the workflow of Auto Tardy. Our plugins create landing pages in PowerSchool for you to record attendance. Auto Tardy specifically is designed for use in the office or in a location that is monitored by attendance staff. Let me show you how we're going to get there. Using the left navigation bar, I'm going to select attendance, and then I'm going to select this link that is going to bring us to this landing page. I want to talk a little bit about this particular page. As I mentioned, it's our landing page. This is where the attendance recording activity will happen. It's the page your PowerSchool attendance staff will navigate to every day when they're getting ready to record attendance in your school. Let's take a look at this page here. We have a date and a timestamp that presents. We have a default attendance code. This is a configurable default code. Also, your attendance bank is available for another code selection if needed. You have the option to print a hall pass, the option to write a comment that pertains to or aligns with an attendance activity. And then this cursor here is flashing in the search student field. We're waiting for student ID input. There are several ways in which you can enter your student identifier. You can use a finger scan. Notice here, this is the finger scan option. I have a scan window here. One way that you can get your student ID information with a touch of a finger, the ID gets entered into the plugin. You can also manually type an ID number in. You could use a keypad and you can type a number. You could use a barcode scanner if you already have existing ID cards, another ID entry method here to get your student's identifier in. Some districts use pin pads attached to the computer where the attendance is being recorded, and then the students are going to type their ID number in. There's also an option for a student search. So you can type in the first couple of letters of a student's last name. You'll get a display and you can select that student. So lots of options here for you in terms of how can you get your student ID number into the plugin. The bottom half of the page here is going to list as many or as few attendance records as you would like your staff to have presented on the page. So you can lock this down to 0. You can open this up to as many as you'd like to see. It gives you a daily view, a visual indicator of who has just had their attendance recorded using the plugin. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to show you how this workflow runs using the finger scanner the first time around. So I'm going to place my finger on the scanner and take a look and watch how quickly everything is happening. Right now, we're going to pause here at this screen where my hall pass has presented. And I do want to mention here that all your attendance has already been recorded. We're done. It's in PowerSchool. It's recorded with timestamps and all of the other information that the plugin is handling. But I want to pull in close here so you can take a look at this. Hall pass that I've generated. The hall pass, again, optional, date and a timestamp, our student's name, the class on the bell schedule that the student has at the time he scanned into the building. So Harold is expected to be in Spanish. We'll display the attendance code and the status of that code. We're also going to keep counting your tardies for you. Okay, you have the option to separate your tardy types. Excused, we'll count your excused versus your unexcused. Alternatively, you can put them all into one category and count them as one group of tardies. You also have the ability to create an attendance comment, a message, something that you want to share with your students that aligns with the tardy threshold that they've reached. And then your student gets that pass and away they go to class. And then if you glance here at the bottom, we can see that this was the last record that I just recorded attendance for, and I can see him listed below here. I want to show you that workflow by using another input method. I'm going to use a pin pad here, and I'm going to type an ID number in, send that off. The hall pass will present, it will print, and away my student goes to class. So I didn't want to pause there. I wanted to show you how quickly that happens. That whole process took roughly, a couple seconds, couple, 3-4 seconds, and your students are off to class. Okay, let's see how that attendance recorded. We have a nice option here to link to a student's record here. So once that student attendance is recorded, we give you the option to view that if you want directly from the page. So I'll take our first student, Harold, that came in. That was the first scan that I did. Let's go take a look at his attendance record, and let's see how that plugin recorded the attendance. So here we are. Harold had Spanish on his bell schedule at the time he came into the building. Tardy unexcused was the code that was selected for this attendance event. Notice here, the comment displays the time that Harold came into the building. So we have that for our records and for, just for a reference going forward. You also have the ability, this is a code level setting, to use that timestamp to get entered right into the clock in field for the meeting time entry selection. So these are going right to core PowerSchool tables. If you use that option, I want to show you what happens. PowerSchool then collects that timestamp and does the calculation. So your total overall minutes are automatically calculated once we have inserted that timestamp. That's the workflow. And that's how quickly we can get your attendance in, recorded, accurate data, and handle that whole process. So the streamlined, automated tardy flow can be put in place for you. All right, let's back out here. I have a couple of other things that I want to show you on our record attendance page. And notice how quickly I can get to this page too. A couple of clicks and I'm at my landing page. I mentioned that this page in particular is a daily view. So every day when your attendance staff loads this page, it's going to be empty. And as the day progresses, you're going to see information, attendance information collected. Over here on the attendance activity tab, I'm going to give that a click here. This page is really fantastic. This attendance activity page is your historical information. It gives you a chance to view the information that you have collected over a span of time. When you land on the page, it puts you at today's date. That's just to ensure that the page loads very quickly. We have schools with, many student records, and we don't want that page to hang. So this page gives you complete visibility in one place. So you can look at every tardy or every early dismissal, and attendance events flow into this single centralized view. We give you the ability to use filtering and search options so that you can quickly narrow down the activity by student and date range, attendance code, tardy counts, whatever it is that you're trying to view. You can go ahead and use our filters to take a look at that a little bit more closely. So I can, a couple of popular ways. Let's say I want to take a look at a particular student. If I want to see some activity for a particular student, here I have my student Cameron Anderson. And if I do a filter on her, take a look at what I have here. I have the ability to take a look at her historical view of all of the times that my student has come in late. And I can see what classes her lateness has been assigned to. A great way to augment attendance intervention programs and support that family-school partnership. And again, lots of different ways that you can use this page to take a look at and pare down the attendance patterns in a view that becomes quite usable. Attendance activity page, the historical view of information. All right, so that's auto tardy. That's the foundation for auto tardy plus. So now I want to move on here, and I want to take a look at the features that auto tardy plus layers in on top of that auto tardy workflow. The core of Auto Tardy Plus is the kiosk feature, okay? It's the self-service option. It doesn't require staff monitoring. So just like the office view, the kiosk page manages all of the workflow. It's the landing page for all of the activity. So a similar way that we get to that page, attendance, and instead of going to the record attendance, I'm going to go to the kiosk attendance page. And point out, some of the obvious differences here, right? It's a kiosk page. The navigation bar is no longer there. This is clearly a self-serve style page. Nothing is exposed to the student. Date and timestamp, attendance code, and search student field. So same input mechanisms that you can use here to record your student attendance from as you did on the office page on the the standard auto tardy page, you can use here on the kiosk page, finger scanning, pin pad entry, student lookup if you'd like to keep that option open, configurable to shut that off if you don't want to use it at the kiosk, but the same exact workflow. I want to show you, let's take you through it so we can see how this works. Tardy unexcused is my selected code here. I'm going to place my finger on the scanner, and again, the same activity. My student's hall pass is generated, and off they go to class. We can do another method. I could do a barcode scan here, send that in, same idea. My student goes off to class with their hall pass and away they go. We're talking seconds. I want to talk about another layer that Auto Tardy Plus brings into the mix, and it's a security layer. There are settings built into the plugin that allow you to monitor and control entry to your building. So there are some predefined reasons for you to say a student should not be entering. Let me show you how that would work. For example, I have a student that has an attendance code that has been flagged to deny entry to the building. He has an OSS, he should not be entering the building, and I want to know this if he attempts to come into the building. So if his ID number is sent into the system, there will be an alert and a stop, and we know that this student is not allowed into the building for attendance reasons. So Auto Tardy Plus adds in that ability for you to control and monitor entry. Another potential reason why you might not want someone in your building is they go to a different school, either within your district or outside of your district, and they attempt to enter the building with their ID number, and we get a stop. No, you can't come into the building. You don't belong here. This is for our, this is not a building that you're allowed to have entry. So Auto Tardy Plus adds in that layer of security, allows you to control and monitor entry to your building. Let me back out here for a minute. I want to show you another feature here on the Auto Tardy Plus on the kiosk page. And bear with me, I'm going to make a slight change here where I can show you how we can handle non-attendance related activity on the kiosk page. So if you can just bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to make a slight change here. And we're going to pop back here to the kiosk kiosk attendance page. I made a slight change here to show you how we can use this kiosk page for non-attendance related activities. We don't want to record attendance, but we do want to know who is there, either in the building or at the event or in the room. So notice here with a certain setting, I made a configuration change and my attendance code has been removed from the page selector. When might you want to use a kiosk for non-attendance related situations? Early morning arrivals. Students coming into the building in the morning before the start of the day. You don't want to record attendance. You just want to know who's in your building. How about internal check-ins, right? For example, kids going into the nurse's office, for example, the library or a resource center where you're interested in tracking movement throughout the day, but you don't want to record attendance. After school events, managing after school events such as basketball games or football games, school dances, concerts. You just want to know who attended and if they're allowed to attend. A great way to use this page. So let me just run through a couple, show you how this would work. Student ID gets entered and away they go. So you see how quickly that is. My students are coming into the building. And now I'm going to have a log of their activity. So kiosk attendance page for attendance related and non-attendance related events, and you can use it in either of those fashions. Okay, where does that information get recorded? Let's take a look at where we're going to see that. So the kiosk activity will get recorded into a page called, cleverly, the kiosk activity page. So let's pop over there and take a look at it. Auto Tardy kiosk activity. This is the page that's going to log all of the activity on that has been entered into the kiosk. If the activity at the kiosk is also attendance related, it will land on the attendance activity page as well as the kiosk activity page. On this page here, you can see your students who have been denied entry. Maybe there's a selection in your school that have been denied and you can view them and you can view which kiosk that student was attempting to enter. There's also an allowed section. So anybody that has entered the building, we haven't recorded attendance. We have a list of who they are. We know what kiosk that they've signed into. We know the time that they came in and also the date. Okay, so kiosk activity page, that's going to log all of the activity for your kiosks. There's a couple of other features and pages in the system that I want to talk about right now. One of them is the kiosk overrides page. It's a great page, and what this page does is it opens up some flexibility for districts. So the page allows you to manually adjust the entry status for your students on any given day. Let's go over there so you can get some eyes on it. And excuse me, let me get to the right spot here. Auto tardy kiosk overrides. You might use this. So this will display your student status, right? Whether they're going to be allowed or denied entry, based on the school's allowed or denied entry selections. So if you have, for example, a student who is transferred out of the building and you don't have a chance to get PowerSchool updated with that information, but you don't want that student to be attending any events, you could manually adjust a student's entry status from allowed to denied so that they don't come to any more district-related events. Maybe in another situation, you have a student who was suspended, but has done some stellar work and has now gotten themselves to a place where you want to reward them. So you could, even if in a suspended status or a situation, update their denied status to allowed and let them attend an event if that's part of your reward system. So this lets you get real granular. You can handle and manually adjust the entry status for any of your students on any given day and override what would happen in the event that status just was retained. That's the kiosk overrides page. I want to talk now about our setup, our configuration, and how pretty much straightforward this is. I'm going to start up here at the district office. In our plugin, I'll wait till that loads so I can get in here. District office, attendance, auto tardy district settings. We give you district level settings. Some districts prefer to set everything up at the district and push it down to your schools, okay? And then you can lock it down so district has control over what the settings are for all of the schools that are using our plugins. There's also school level settings. If a school is allowed to create and manage their own settings, auto tardy school settings. Let me pop this open. So if a school is allowed to set their settings and the district says, yes, that is an approved method to, create your plugin configuration options, then the school can set their settings, take advantage of what the district has, or select your own. Again, all decided based on how you like your workflow for school plugin settings. And then we have user management settings. And let's pop in here. Let's go to user management. User management settings are set up so that you can provide flexibility for how you want to use your kiosks. So, and your auto tardy page. So user management level settings can override district or school settings for certain configurable options so that kiosks and scan locations can have their own set of options that will align with the way you would like that station to be used. So user management level settings. And then the other area that I want to run to here is the attendance code level settings. I'll open up tardy unexcused. And in here, we have two sections here where you would set up your attendance code level settings, and then your plugin is ready to go. So district level settings, school level settings, user level settings, attendance code settings, and you're good to go. And that is how easy it is to set up. Typically, auto tardy, if you're setting that up, we could get that set up in about 30 minutes. Auto tardy plus has a few extra options that we'd want to take into consideration. So you tack on maybe 15 or 20 minutes more based on how many kiosks that you would like to have set up in your school, and you'd be up and running. So simple, straightforward, and easy to set up. Okay, so that does it for the plugin. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I want to make plenty of time for your questions. So what do we have, Brian?
All right. So first question we have is, what are the customization capabilities this individual has to capture attendance codes and an attendance reason? They currently have a custom field that pops up in which they can put in the default or put in a reason, which would be something like running late. Is there any capability for that?
Not now, but we've had that. Can you call me to talk about that? We've had this feature request before, and if I'm understanding correctly, it's the idea that the reason is driving the code. We've had that suggestion before, but I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're looking for. So built in right now, no, but let's talk about this further.
Wonderful. I will make that connection after
That's
this
great.
meeting.
Thank you, Brian.
Um, Slightly new to PowerSchool and a little confused about the finger scanning. Whose finger is being scanned and is scanning a fingerprint?
Gotcha. Okay, so let's talk about the finger scanning piece. So it would be your student's finger that's scanning. So you would, your students, and this is the shortened version of this, right? Your students would get enrolled into the finger scanning system. The enrollment process creates a template of yours for your students that aligns with the student ID. It is a template. It is not a fingerprint. It is strictly a numerical representation of the minutia points on the finger pads, okay? And it's encrypted and stored on a database that you would hold on premises within your school or your district. So when a student places their finger on the scanner, what gets sent into PowerSchool is the ID number that's associated with that template. So that's all it is, student placing their finger. In my demo, I enrolled myself as a student. That is part of my PowerSchool test environment. So I was pretending to be a student that was enrolled to PowerSchool. So finger on scanner aligns with the ID number. The finger represents the ID number, place it, and then that ID number is sent in. Part of the identimetrics thing, that is not part of you can purchase the plugin without the finger scanning. Okay, if you're interested in finger scanning, you could purchase that as part of the package that you get from us.
Next question is, does the plugin do past and future attendance?
The plugin does, current attendance. It does not do past. It does not do future. It aligns with the time that the student came into the building currently.
And the plugin configured for constant printing, or so there's no need to use the print dialog box?
Absolutely. So there are settings and they're browser-based settings. So there's nothing configurable inside the plugin. It's all about how you would set your browser up to do that auto print, kiosk print, silent print. Different browsers have different names for it. But yeah, you would set your browser up to auto print. Lots of districts are doing it.
And next question is, can that print slip be customized?
Not fully customizable. So there are things that are on there that are just stock. So you're going to have a name, you're going to have a date, you're going to have a timestamp. You're going to have the attendance code. If you don't want the timestamp to appear on there, you could turn that off. If you don't want to see the count or the message on there, you could turn that off. But in terms of adding your own features into or your own text into that plugin, no, you can't do that.
But what is customizable are the tardy comment reasons and the logo, the image that goes on there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, comments are you would write your own there, but if you didn't want to see them at all, you could turn them either off or on.
Next question is, will this system allow for customized or modified settings per individual student? We have different types of student schedules and reporting times for work release, in-person learning, dual enrollment, senior internships, etc.
Yeah, so we're interacting directly with the bell schedule that you have for those students for the day. So I would suggest if you have a schedule that has a lot of variables, and I will suggest this to everybody here that's joining, let's do a free trial. It is a great way to learn whether this Tardy plugin, Auto Tardy or Auto Tardy Plus is going to satisfy your workflow. So it works like this. You let us know you want to do a free trial. We get it installed and configured. You run it for a couple of weeks to make sure that it satisfies your workflow and your attendance workflow. When you love it, we move forward with the sales process. And if it doesn't work for you, we've made friends, and we wish you the best of luck on finding a tool that does work for you. We want you to be happy, right? We want you to use a tool that's going to work for you. So Yeah, we can talk more about that. I know we're coming up to a time of year where things are starting to slow down, and the plugin does require an active school year. So any of you there that do have test server environments where you have the ability to play with start and end times, we could do something over, the summer months when the kids aren't in school, as long as you can manipulate that calendar. Alternatively, if you had to wait till the start of school, we could run your free trial at the beginning and then get everything situated and sorted, and hopefully get you moving in a great direction for next school year.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tina. That's all the questions that I found.
Great questions, everybody. Thank you so much. I have a couple other things to leave you with here. So let me just bring back here. What I want you to go away with here is that our plugins are going to deliver for you, right? They're going to give you accurate attendance and check-ins, automated processes, audit trails for peace of mind, minimal setup, massive time savings, and immediate ROI. We'd love to hear from you. Please reach out, get a quote to you, schedule a demo. Let's sign up for a free trial. Contact information is here. So please take advantage of it. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.